Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm Minxlaura123 and this is going to be my April reading wrap up. So in this video I'm going to be telling you about the books that I read in the month of April, telling you a little bit about them, telling you if I enjoyed them or not, and of course my ratings that I give each book. So also there will be the TBR games. I love doing the TBR games. They're so fun. So carry on watching, because after this part, while I do my wrap up, I'll put the TBR games in. So yes, they are good fun. Okay, let me know in the comment section down below what books you've read recently, if you've enjoyed them or not. Also, let me know if there's any new books coming out that you're excited for. I love getting your bookish comments. I'm going to pop my glasses on now, which means business. There we go. By the way, please give this video a big thumbs up, please leave a comment and share this video out, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm trying to think. I read a lot of books in April. There were some witchy vibes going on, as you'll find out. I did read a few witchy themed books. Also, a great month for audio books for myself, because I now have Audible that I listen to on my phone. I listen to it in the bath, when I'm like walking around or doing the housework, whatever. And it's a great way of getting more books done. And yeah, I've been actually really enjoying listening to, an audio book. So the first one, actually, the first book from April was actually an audiobook, and it was called The Boy Who Got Accidentally Famous by David Badill. So this is middle grade. I was worried it could be a bit young for me, but yes, I'm an adult, but I do like reading middle grade sometimes. But this was so funny and it was just lovely, and I'm a big fan of David Badill anyway. Badill and Skinner, just brilliant. So I kind of had a good vibe for this one. I knew it'd be quite funny. So it's about this boy called Billy. I've got all my notes here, by the way, on the laptop. About this boy called Billy Smythe, and he's just really plain and boring. Even like his name is just, ultra boring and plain. He's a schoolboy. He hasn't really got many friends. He's kind of like, he's got a couple of friends, but he's kind of like shy and just doesn't really get involved with anything or anyone. And then he's at school, and a TV crew come to the school to start filming like a documentary about the school and the students and the teachers and stuff. And he becomes basically this surprise popular star of the show, because he is so boring and dull. It sounds really weird, but it does work. And like everyone's like, there's memes of him, and then he gets like really famous, and he gets on like interviews and stuff. Like he is just like a superstar. So you get to find out about him and his family, and about how fame affects people, how it can change you. It was good. It was fun. It was really, really funny. Honestly, I was walking along sometimes, as I say, with the audiobook on, and just laughing to myself, because there were such funny scenes. Yeah, really, really good. And I gave it a 4 stars. So that's pretty good. 4 out of 5 is pretty good. Okay, second book I read, I didn't like. So I went from liking something to not liking something. And this is probably going to shock a lot of you, because it's a classic, and I'm quite angry with myself that I didn't like it, but it is what it is. Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I did kind of set myself a little challenge earlier in the year that I wanted to read an Agatha Christie book a month. I don't like the Miss Marple thing, but I do like Hercule Poirot books. But I just didn't like this one at all. So I've put Murder on a Cruise Along the Nile. I mean, it's pretty much what it is, right? I do like the character of Hercule Poirot, but what I found in this one is there were just so many characters. There were just like, I don't know, too many characters. I was getting mixed up with who was who. There was Mrs. this, Mrs. that, Mrs. this. And I just found myself getting really mixed up about the characters. And I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't enjoying it. And so I did DNF it. I wish I'd have seen the movie of it now. Which, at some point I might see the film of it. But yeah, I had to give it 2 stars, and that was being generous, because I just didn't get into it at all. I definitely want to still do my little challenge. But yeah, I'm not rushing anytime soon. But yeah. Anyway, next book was What Mama Left Me by Renee Watson. This book was raw. It was emotional. But boy, oh boy, it was depressing as fish. I had to stop myself then. I nearly said something else. But it was so depressing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's important that we have these books that are emotional, that are sad, that touch, our emotions and stuff. But like, oh my God, this was so depressing. And every time I picked it up, I was like, oh, it was just like taking like any energy that I had out of me because it was so like draining and so depressing. It's about this girl, the main character, she's called Serenity. She was a nice character, like I liked her character. And I did feel for her and stuff. But anyway, so she's dealing with the death of her mother. Her father killed her mother, and then later on you find out that the father is dead as well. So she's lost her mum, she's lost her dad, then a friend gets killed. It just felt like everyone was getting killed, and it was just really depressing, and there was funerals and there was misery, and I was like, oh, I can't do it, I can't do it. So I did DNF it. I got over halfway and I just thought, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. So yeah, I'm so sorry, but I only gave it 2 stars because it was just so depressing. The next book also was depressing. Why did I go from one to another? I don't know, because I'm stupid. So this was an audio book that I had called Message Not Found by Dante Medema. Yeah, another sad book. I had to DNF this one because I was listening to it. I was like, oh, I just can't. I can't. I skipped to the end chapters just to find out what happened. But even then I was like, meh, whatever. It's about this girl. And I can't even remember the name of the main character, I'm sorry. But anyway, she was kind of like, you know, very one-dimensional. Didn't really have much going on in the main character, so she wasn't really much to kind of write home about. But anyway, her best friend is killed in a car accident, and she's killed because they're having like a text conversation at the same time. Why is she texting whilst driving? It's terrible. Anyway, so she kind of feels sad, she's grieving, and this girl, this main character, is quite into her technology and stuff, so she creates this AI character of her best friend who's died and kind of messages her, and the AI kind of messages her back. It's all really weird. I didn't get it. I didn't like it. It was really depressing. And not only that, I'm having a right rant today, aren't I? Not only that, the girl who was doing the audiobook had such a dull and droning voice. It was like, oh, yeah, not good. 2 stars for that. I'm sorry. Maybe it would have been better if I read it, like read and not listened read. But I just couldn't do it. And that is the thing with audiobooks. Let me know in the comments if you agree. But for me, like, it really depends who's doing the vocals of it, you know, who's reading it out. Because some of the audiobooks, as you'll find out in a bit, I really enjoyed the person who is doing it. Like, I love their voice and their tone, and others like that one, I was like, oh, no. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't like that one. Next book I did love. I loved it so much. I give it 5 stars. It would not have got anything less. It was so good. Idle Gossip by Alexandra Lee Young. So this is K-pop themed. I don't really know anything about K-pop. Like, I know obviously it's a type of music and stuff, but like, I don't know any stars of K-pop. I'm not into K-pop music. But I just saw this book on the Waterstones website, and I was like, oh, I love the cover. The cover was gorgeous. And I read about the story and I thought, oh, it sounded good. And I'm really pleased that I went with my gut instinct because it was so good. And you haven't got to be like a K-pop, you know, mega fan to be into this book. So basically it's about a girl called Alice who is lovely. I loved Alice. She's a big K-pop fan, and she goes with her sister to like karaoke bars, and she sings, they sing together. And one night when she's singing at this karaoke place, she gets spotted. This woman gives her a card and tells her to come to this place at a certain time and day and everything. She goes there, and basically she gets turned into a K-pop sensation. She joins this kind of manufactured K-pop girl band. And there's some, like, you know, issues with the band and like the friendship side of thing, and also dealing with things that go on like behind the scenes in the music world and stuff. It was really, really good. Like, I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the descriptions. It felt so real. I loved the main character. Yeah, it was really, really good. I loved it. It was a very fun read, and I gave it a 5 stars. Really recommend that one. It was good. And also I loved the next book, which was Not My Problem by Kyra Smythe. Yeah, love this one too. Main character, Adine, was so adorable. Really sassy, really lovely, and she was going through some like crap with her family and stuff, but she was still like, she found humor in everything, which I think is a bit like my character, as who I am. Like, however like low things are in my life, I try and like make humor out of like bad situations, you know, as they say, what is it, laughter is the best medicine. So I kind of like connected with her on that level, that as bad as things were, she'd still kind of make a joke or make something funny out of it. So it's set in Ireland, and I think this has won like awards and stuff, so well done to it, deserved it. But anyway, so it's this girl, She's a schoolgirl and she's dealing with her own problems. Her mum's an alcoholic. Her dad kind of left her and has got another family and stuff. She's got issues with like education. She's not very good at learning stuff. So she's got all these issues going on. But she manages to help other people with their problems. And then once people start finding out that she's helping others, they're like, oh, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? So she basically helps other people, but not herself. And then she ends up helping her kind of arch enemy called Mabel. And it's just, yeah, I'm not going to like give any spoilers, but there was a little bit of romance. So it's LGBTQI rep. But that was kind of like the main thing about it. It was all the other different bits and pieces that made up this book as well. And it was raw, but it was so funny at the same time. It was very, very good. I really enjoyed it, and also hugely recommend that as well. So 5 stars for Not My Problem. So the next books I read 1 and 2. The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page, and then I read the sequel, which was The Monarchs. So obviously I'm not going to say about The Monarchs in any way because it'll, you know, could give spoilers. So this was YA. A lot of people have recommended this duology, and I was like, okay, I love my witchy stuff, so I got it. So this, you know, look, this was a fun read. If you're looking for kind of like a real dark, intense witch book, it's not that. But if you're looking for a fun witchy read, it is that. So it's about a bunch of girls at college, and they're actually a coven of witches. And you know, this book's about friendship, drama, romance, magic. Well, of course there's magic, it's about witches. But it was just so fun, and the main character Vivi I loved, and also Scarlett, who's kind of like also the main characters, like 2 main characters, and I love them both, and it was brilliant. It was really good. Then I got onto The Monarchs, which was the sequel, and in my opinion, like, if I'm, you know, this is just my opinion, I just didn't feel like it needed a sequel. I think number 1 ended in a way that didn't have a cliffhanger or anything, and it was like, it's a nice ending, but to have a sequel is like, why? What is the point? So anyway, I read the sequel because I did enjoy number 1, but I did find myself getting a little bit bored, skimming a few pages to get to the end. You know how it is. And yeah, I mean, it just didn't seem as exciting and as magical, and I don't know, 3 stars. I'm sorry, but I did like being around the characters again. That was nice, but meh, I don't think it needed a sequel. Okay, next book I read, I absolutely loved, Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This one has been really hyped up, so I always get a little bit worried about when books are like super hyped up, everyone's raving about them. I'm like, but it deserves the hype. It's absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for number 2. I actually thought originally this was like a standalone, but it's not. It's part of a series. The series is called Bright Falls, the Bright Falls series. And this was just so much fun. It was a rom-com, chick lit, whatever you want to call it. I know some people get a bit offended and triggered by the whole chick lit thing, but why? Like, you know, it's literature written for chicks. I don't know. I love that. I like that chick lit thing. Anyway, but I thought it was cute. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a little bit silly, but I love that. It was fine. It worked. So basically the main character is Delilah, who I loved. I love the other character, Claire, but Delilah was my girl. She's just brilliant. And basically she is a bit of a kind of rebel, a bit of a wild child. And I loved her. I thought she was great. So her stepsister, who I can't think of her name, I think it's Astrid. But anyway, her stepsister is getting married. Her stepsister and her don't really particularly get on. They're not like enemies or anything, but they don't really connect or bond or anything. But anyway, so she asks Delilah to be the photographer for her wedding, and you know, they give her a lot of money, etc. She needs the cash. She's like, okay, I'll come back to the old town and do the photos. And when she's there, she kind of meets old people that she used to kind of see around, including her stepsister's best friends, who she didn't particularly get on with. And there is a romance that happens with Claire, who is the stepsister's one of her best friends. So like, Claire has just kind of come out of a relationship, so she's not really looking for anything, and then Delilah is more into her kind of one night stands and wild times instead of anything serious. So it's kind of like a romance that shouldn't happen, that doesn't want to happen, but does happen because they just feel so connected to each other. It was very lovely. I love Delilah the best, as I say. So yeah, I definitely would read number 2, and if there's any more, I'd carry on the series. The next book in the series is going to be all about the stepsister. So obviously I'm not going to give spoilers of what happened in that one, but I'm very excited to find out more about the stepsister and what happens with her. But yeah, 5 stars for Delilah Green. Doesn't care. But I care about Delilah Green. The next book I read was a horror. The Caro Haunt by Darcy Coates. So I'd never heard of Darcy Coates. I was on Instagram looking up Bookstagram, hashtag Bookstagram, and yeah, I found this picture. This girl had put up a picture of a book, which was the Caro Haunt, and she was like proper like hyping it up. She's like, oh yeah, this is really scary, it's really creepy, I've never read anything so frightening. And I was like, oh, because I like my horror. So I went on eBay. I think I found it for like £3 or something, really cheap as chips, and I got it. But I don't know. Did I enjoy it? Kind of. So basically, it is creepy, I'll give you that, but I don't think it's like really horrific and terrifying as this girl had made out. That's just my view. I don't know. So it's about this girl. She's called Remy, and she's a tour guide at this this Caro house, which is this old kind of closed down, obviously, like no one lives there as such, mansion. Like this really rich family used to live there, but then obviously they don't anymore. And it's become like this kind of place where people go to do like paranormal investigations, that kind of thing, right? So she works as a main tour guide there. She knows all the history. She does the tours. And then some like really random guy who's on a tour one night says to her like, oh, I've got a lot of money and I'd like to do like some research here. Get a group of us together, people who are interested in the paranormal, do some research. We've got like a psychic. There's a YouTuber who does paranormal stuff. Different people in this group, and yeah, basically they go along for like a week-long stay to see what evidence they get and stuff, and do research on the history of the place and the ghosts there. It's got a really good setup, but then it just got really silly. Then people start getting murdered, but then they're not really murdered. It's hard to explain without giving spoilers. It's just a bit odd. I don't know. I give it a 3 stars because there were elements of it that I enjoyed, but it's just a bit silly. It could have been so much better, if that makes sense. Okay, next up was an audiobook, Gallows Hill by Lois Duncan. I've listened to a few Lois Duncan audios, and I've got one on my phone at the moment, which I can't remember the name of, but anyway, but I have got one. So I like her books. This one was about a main character called Sarah. So Sarah's 17. She's just moved into this new area with her mum. Her mum's met this new guy, and they've kind of, started living together. The guy's got a daughter, and they don't really get on. Anyway, so one night she gets asked to go to this school fair. She has to be asked to pretend to be like a fortune teller at the event of the fair. So she dresses up in all the fortune teller, and she's got this crystal ball thing, and she starts basically getting real premonitions and stuff. She starts to see things in this crystal ball. And then people start to think like, how does she know this stuff? Like, it's just impossible. Then they start branding her a witch. Then she starts getting bullied because she's a witch. There's also like a connection with the Salem witch trials, and also with like past life and stuff. Like, it was good. It was very good. The only reason I didn't give it a 5, I give it a 4 star, by the way, 4 stars, but I didn't give it a 5 because I did find it a bit predictable. I could kind of see what was coming from like kind of midway through, but even so, it was very good. And I like the girl who done the audio. Like, her voice was nice and she read it really well. So yeah, I like that. It was good. Gallows Hill. Next book. Oh, didn't like this one. Another one that is a classic, like Death on the Nile. I'm so sorry if I offend people, but Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Everyone has heard of it pretty much. I've never seen the film. I didn't really know much about it. All I ever thought about when I heard of like The Great Gatsby was seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in his picture. I don't know anything about the story. I just hated it. I think I listened to this, and it was a really short, I think it was like 3 hours or 2 hours audiobook, and I thought, oh, great. I listened to this for a bit, and I just started to get so bored. I wasn't, I found myself not listening because I just didn't really care what happened. It was just like these rich people, they were having parties, they were bragging about what they had. And also I found some of the wording was quite offensive as well. Like, I know it was of the time, the wording, but I did find some of the wording really, really offensive, and I felt uncomfortable listening to it. So, yeah, sorry, I don't know how that book had become so like cult classic. I don't get it. Maybe it's me. I don't know. But yeah, 1 star. I'm sorry, Great Gatsby. It's not for me. Maybe the film's better. I don't know. Next book. I didn't like this either. Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. This was a big book. It was a big chunky brick. It was like that. I think this was one of my TBR game choices from last month, actually. So I don't even know how to describe this, but 3 sisters, they're witches. They've all kind of got separated. They're all kind of doing their own thing, and then they all end up at the same place together on the same day. It's about witchcraft. It's about women's voting rights, the suffragettes. It was, I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it. I didn't like any of the sisters. You know, normally when you read books about a family, for me anyway, there's always one at least that I connect with in some way. But I didn't connect with any of the sisters, and it was such a big book. I thought, oh, I can't carry on with this. It's going to take like a week or so because I just wasn't interested in it. So I'm sorry, I did DNF it, and I gave it a 1 star. But when you look at the reviews on Goodreads, it's like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. I'm like, is it me? Like, why don't I enjoy these books? Everyone else seems to. I don't know. But the next book, oh my God, where do I even start? I love this book so much, and this is a popular book. And this is a hyped up book. And this is a book that's had loads of 5 stars that I can actually get on board with. I can actually agree on. Apparently this book has had over 200,000 5-star ratings on Goodreads, apparently. So this is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I literally kept hearing about Colleen Hoover all the time. People are always saying, oh, I'm reading Colleen Hoover. Oh, you've got to read Colleen Hoover. You know, constant. And I've never read anything by her. This is the first book by Colleen Hoover that I've read. And I just want to read everything now that she's ever done. The only thing is, when I'm looking up books that she's done, like Ugly Love and It Ends With Us and stuff, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So I'm definitely going to give them a try, obviously. But this one, Verity, was quite a thriller kind of vibe. But the others feel more kind of romancy. So if you're like a Colleen Hoover fan and you've read all her books or a few of them, is that the thing? Is it that they're mainly romance, but this is like the odd, you know, does she do the odd thriller, or is it romance with a twist? I don't know. But as I say, I'm up for reading everything she's ever wrote because I love this book. I love her writing style. I could not put it down. There were several times when Nathan, my fiance, bless him, he kept trying to talk to me, and I was like, no, I'm reading. Hold on, let me finish this page. Let me finish, because I was so absorbed in it. I so loved it. So I've put here, wow, the hype is real. My notes are just so cringe. But it's true. So I've put, this was twisty, exciting, creepy, sexy, just OMG, I loved it. So it's about this character called Lowen, who I really liked, Ish. I liked Ish. Lowen is a writer. She's kind of struggling for cash. She's not really doing well with her career and stuff. And her agent's a bit of an idiot, let's put it straight. And he's also her ex-boyfriend, so that's probably why it doesn't really work. But anyway, she gets this amazing job offer to go and work for this really big, well-known author called Verity. So Verity has had an accident. She's unable to finish the series of books that she's writing. And so her husband, who I can't remember his name, I think it was Jeremy. It might not be Jeremy. I don't know. It might be Bob. I don't know. Anyway, her husband, who just happens to be very dashing and gorgeous and kind of charming, he contacts Lowen and asks her if she will, you know, kind of carry on this book series because he's read her stuff. And, oh no, he says the wife has read her stuff and they think she's really good and she'd do these books really, you know, good justice. So anyway, she goes to work with them. She ends up living in the house while she's working. Long story, you'll have to read it yourself to find out why. But she stays at the house and things get very weird, very creepy. And there were parts of the book I was like, oh, you know, really got me on edge, which I loved. And yeah, while she's kind of looking through Verity's notes to help, you know, write the stories and stuff, she finds this kind of secret memoirs really that Verity has wrote that no one's seen, and so she reads them and she finds all these like dark family secrets that revealed about Verity and about things that have happened in their past involving the death of their daughters and etc. etc. It's very gripping, it's very dark, lots of twists. So some of the twists I did see coming, I'll be honest, but some of them I didn't. I was like, ugh. So I love that aspect of it. and a bit ooh la la in places, but not too ooh la la. You know, I don't really, I've said this before, I don't really like loads of smut in books. I'm not that kind of person who enjoys that. I don't mind a bit of like ooh la la, as I say. I'm not like a prude or anything, but I just don't like it when it's like full on, like pages and pages of explaining what's going on and how it feels. I'm like, yeah, all right, makes me cringe. But this was just the right amount. A little bit of smut, it was okay. But yeah, this book is brilliant. I loved it. Of course, I gave it a 5 stars. So check out Very. It's very good. Next book I read was The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlin. I got this from the library. I've never read anything by this author before, to be honest, and I have to be honest, I've never even heard of her, even though when I looked up to see what other books she'd done afterwards, she has done so many. Like there's like this list of just like endless amounts of books that she's wrote. So she's obviously like a big author. I've just never heard of her. But I would definitely love to read more of her stuff in the future. What an amazing, like, oh, this book. This book gave me so much emotion. So this story kind of interweaves history, mystery, social injustice. It deals with racism. It deals with family issues, romance, love, standing up for what you believe in. And there's 2 main characters. So you've got Kayla, whose husband has died. Sorry, part of it's set in the 60s, part of it's set modern times. Okay, so you've got Kayla, who's kind of in the modern times, and her husband has just died. They were kind of designing this new house together, and there's an accident during the making of the house and designing and stuff, and he died. So she's moved into this house with a very small young daughter, and the house is kind of creepy. There's kind of like this haunting vibe around the house and the woods that surround it. There's lots of history around that area. I don't want to give too much away, but then you go into the 60s, and there's the main character in that is called Ellie. Now I like Kayla, but I loved Ellie. Ellie was she got my heart. I loved her. So she's this young girl. She's a white girl, and she falls in love with a black boy. And there's a lot of controversy, and there's a lot of drama, and there's a lot of like prejudice and violence that I have to go through. Like, it's very, you know, at times it is quite hard to read, but it's just so well wrote. And yeah, this book just brought out so many emotions in me, and I did learn a lot as well about voting rights and different things, you know, that I didn't realize happened and stuff. But honestly, this book was amazing. It was so much better than I ever thought it would be. It was brilliant. So 5 stars for that one. And that was called The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlin. Next book, oh, okay, we go from wow to Like a Charm, Ellie McNichol. I listened to this on audiobook. I say I listened to it. I I listened to about, I would say, an hour, if that. I don't think I made an hour. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The girl who was reading the audiobook, her voice was just so like high pitched and like a squeal. It was very annoying, which definitely put me off. So this is based in Scotland. It is a middle grade. Now I loved, I can't remember the name of it, but I loved a book by Ellie McNichol. I can't remember the name of it, but it was about a hologram and stuff. It was really, really good. This one I didn't love. So it's about a girl. She's called Ramia, and I don't know how old she is. She must be about 15, I think. 15, yeah, about 14, 15. Based in Scotland, in Edinburgh. And she can basically see like magical things come to life, like statues to her come to life and talk and move. And like the premise is quite cool and kind of magical, but I don't know. She was such a brat. Like, I did feel sorry for us, that certain things that she'd gone through in her life with her family, you know, it was sad. But the more I was listening to her, I was like, oh, stop moaning. You're so negative. I know that's ironic because I've been moaning a lot in this video. But anyway, but she was just really like negative and just, oh, I couldn't do it. Sorry. No amount of magical statues or whatever could save it. So I'm sorry. I had to DNF it and I give it 1 star. Another book I read that I didn't like was Someone We Know by Shari Pena. I normally love Shari Pena books. Great thriller crime author. I love her twists and turns, and just, you know, she's just amazing. This one I wasn't feeling, I didn't connect with, so I didn't really care what happened, who'd done the murder. Like, I just kind of give up and just skip to the end. So basically, what can I say about this story? A missing woman gets found dead in the back of a car, in the boot. There's also this boy this all kind of happens in one kind of local neighborhood thing, right? There's this boy who's the son of one of the ladies in this street, and he starts like breaking into the other houses and looking at people's stuff, going on their computers and just random being nosy. I don't know, it was just really not my thing. I don't know, I just didn't care who murdered her, to be fair. And when I did skip to the end, it was very predictable who it was. I was like, see, I knew it. Even a book I didn't particularly enjoy, I still predicted the end correctly. Next up was Carmilla, a vampire tale. This was by J. Sheridan Le Fanu. Fanu, is that how you say it? I listened to this on audiobook. It's quite a short audiobook. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, it was good. So this book is apparently the book that the vampire book that inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula. I want to suck your anyway. But yeah, I thought it was going to be more erotica. So because I kept like reading people's reviews about it, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is so," and I was thinking, "Oh god, is it going to be smutty?" But it wasn't. It's a bit sensual, but it wasn't like full on, girl on girl smut. It wasn't like that at all. It was just a little bit sensual. But to me, like, I've always seen vampires as being quite kind of, open with their sexuality, But basically, it's about a girl called Laura. Nice name, by the way. Anyway, girl called Laura. She's kind of lonely. She lives in this big place with her dad, and I think it's set in. I'm trying to remember. I think it was set in Syria, if I remember rightly. But anyway, so yeah, then this carriage pulls up with this beautiful woman and this her beautiful daughter, who's also kind of very ill. And anyway, this cut long story short, the young girl, Carmilla, is ill, and she basically gets to stay with Laura and her dad, and they kind of look after her and stuff. And she befriends and bonds with Laura and seduces her. But it's not to me anyway. I didn't find it very full on or anything. So it's more kind of vampire-ish seducing, Anyway, it was good. I did enjoy it. It was good audio, and the lady who was reading it had such a great voice. Like, she had a kind of Irish twang to her accent, and it really went well. Like, it worked. So yeah, I did enjoy it. 3.5 stars I'd give that. And it's really interesting to know that was the book that kind of come before Dracula and inspired him and stuff. Okay, next up, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie. Oh, I wanted to love this so much, but I just didn't. The cover was beautiful, like really, really pretty cover. People have been really raving about this book. It's a YA fantasy. What did it said something? It's very similar to, I can't remember. I can't remember. But anyway, there's a film apparently that it's quite similar to the story of it. But anyway, so for me, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't get into it, so I just DNF'd it. There were deadly storms. There was a sea god. Apparently, like, each different year or something, a girl gets chosen to be the bride for the sea god, and I don't really understand what happened. The main girl, kind of, there was a girl who was supposed to be the bride for the sea god, but she was in love with someone else. The main girl's brother, she was in love with him, so she kind of goes into the water and is like, "I'll be the sea god's bride." And then a heart gets stolen. No, a soul gets stolen, and it's a bird. I don't know. If you're confused, so am I, and that's why I stopped reading it. I just didn't get it. Putting her soul in a bird cage or something. It's like, what? I don't get it. Maybe if I'd have read on, I'd have got into it a bit more, but I just thought, I can't be doing it. I can't understand it. So I'm sorry, but 1 star. However, it was a beautiful cover. It was a beautiful book to look at. Next up, now this one is going to be a kind of case of, it's not you, it's me. You're kind of breaking up with someone. We've all done it. Well, maybe not all, but a lot of us have said it. It's not you, it's me. It's not working for me. It's not you. And that's how I kind of feel with this book. So I, Mona Lisa is by Natasha Solomons, and I started to read it. I got into a few chapters. I was really enjoying it. The writing was so good. Like, it was so classy. It was so beautiful. It just kind of flowed. It was lovely. And I'm really interested in the Mona Lisa painting. Like, we've actually got like a really cheap print off eBay, definitely not the real one, on our bedroom wall. So like, I've always been obsessed with Mona Lisa, and there's just something about it. I've always felt very connected to this painting, and when I saw there was a book about it, I was really intrigued. But yeah, this book was, it was different, it was unique, and it's basically the painting Mona Lisa has a personality, she has feelings, she has thoughts, she's in love with Leonardo. It's all a bit kind of like, whoa, a bit out there, but it kind of works. The reason why I stopped reading it, it wasn't because of that. I love the main character of Mona Lisa. She was very sassy and quite, you know, like witty and stuff. It was all the kind of art history that was mentioned that I, just being honest, I didn't know enough about. I felt it was too clever for me. It was too like above my head. I didn't really know history as well as I should. Maybe if I did, I could have understood parts of the book better, but I was kind of thinking, well, who was that and what happened then? And I just felt it was kind of, yeah, too clever for me. But it was very unique and it was beautifully wrote. I give it 2.5 stars, which is sad because it should have got more. But as I said, it's not you, it's me. It's definitely me. And the last book that I read is Blind Spot by Paula Hawkins. That was a little quick read. It's a little quick read thriller. Only cost £1, bargain. Now normally I love Paula Hawkins books. I think the reason why this one didn't work for me was it was just too short, which I know is obvious because it's a quick read, but it didn't work for me because you didn't get enough time to kind of get to know the characters, get to know the history and stuff, the backstory. It was kind of like, this is it, this is what's happened, and boom. You know, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen this story in a proper book length, you know, like really stretched out longer, and I think it could have been better, but it was just, it felt a bit rushed because it was so short. There were some good twists, I have to say. You know, some were predictable, but some weren't. The ending was quite out there. So yeah, it was okay. I'll 2.5 stars really, but that was, I don't know, meh. It was okay. So do you want to know my book of the month? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't care. But if you do care, let me tell you. It was a tricky one. Because I did read a lot of 5 stars, as I say. There was some that were really good. Verity was very close. Colleen Hoover's Verity was very close to being my favourite, as was Not My Problem, because I love that, and also Idle Gossip. But the winner of my book of the month, and it was difficult because there were some good ones, has to be The Last House on the Street by Diane Chamberlin, because it was just, I know this sounds really like, you know, too much, but it really touched my soul. Like it really like, it upset me, it made me emotional, I had some tears. I love the characters. It was just beautiful. It's so well wrote. I like the mystery element of it as well. So yeah, it was just brilliant. So yes, that is my book of the month, and I really recommend it. And I learned a lot from it as well. So yeah, it was good on all levels. Okay, so carry on watching for my TBR games. My lovely Nathan has helped me with my TBR games. They're so fun. I love doing them. So there's 3 TBR games that you're going to see. The first one is the boxes. You know, I have little boxes and they've all got bits of paper in. These are all bits of paper of books that I own that I haven't yet read. So like my TBR that's forever growing. Bookworm problems. And basically, yeah, they're in different boxes, different genres. We roll a dice and just watch that, you'll find out. Then we've got TBR Spin the Wheel. That's cool. It's like on my phone, like a screen recorder. So I, you know, spin the wheel, and there's different options in the wheel. So it could be like a book from, you know, my bedroom, or a YA book, or a thriller, or a book from the spare room, that kind of thing. So there's that. And there's also the most exciting one that I love doing, which is Tbr Roulette. We've got this old like kind of roulette game thing that we play at birthdays and Christmas, as you do. And yes, we play for money. And yeah, so basically I've wrote down, once again, books from my TBR on bits of paper, put them on the old roulette table thing, and then we put the ball in, we spin it, and whatever number corresponds, it's that. It's really good fun. So enjoy my TBR games. But really quickly, actually, before I hand over to myself in the TBR game, just want to show you a couple of things. The first thing is this gorgeous mug that I got today in the library. My local library has this little shop, and they're forever doing like new little bits and pieces. I'm always looking in there. But this is the box. But look at this. It's so beautiful. You've got to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee when you're reading, right? So that is what I'm going to do after this video, actually. I'm going to sip a cup of tea in my owl mug and read. But yeah, just wanted to show you that. It's so pretty. Do you like it? I love it. It was $3.99, which I think is a bargain, to be fair. It's beautiful. It's by Magpie, Sarah Young Magpie. And you obviously get the little box as well. So, not that I'm going to drink out the box, but, you know, it just made it, a little bit nicer having a box. But anyway. And also, really quickly, this is my current read, if anyone cares. It's Sarah Pinborough's new one, Insomnia. I was very excited. I fangirled yesterday because Sarah Pinborough tweeted me back twice on Twitter. I sent her a picture of the book saying, I'm just about to start your book. And she replied, and then I replied, and she replied. I was like, oh my God. I know. If you've not read Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough, I really recommend it. It's very good. Very, very good. And also, I loved 13 Minutes by her. That was good as well. So yeah, this is Insomnia, and it's a very weird thriller, which I love. So it says, check the windows, lock the doors, look in on the children. Why can't she sleep? So main character is called Emma. She's going to be 40, the big 40, which I was a couple of years ago. Her mother stopped sleeping just for her 40th birthday. She went mad and did the unthinkable because of it. And is that what's happening to Emma? So because she's starting to be an insomniac like her mother was, and her mother did some bad stuff, which I haven't found out what, but I'm kind of getting the gist of it, of what's kind of happened. She's kind of frightened that she's going to turn into her mum and do bad stuff. So yes, it's very good so far. I'm currently on page 39, so I'm not that far in, but already I can tell I'm loving it. So yeah, okay, right now it's time for the TBR games. Don't forget, please click like, comment, share, subscribe, and check out my Goodreads page, links down below. Also my social media links down below, as is the link to my other YouTube channel, which is called Minxlaura123 ASMR. So if you need help sleeping, relaxing, getting tingles, relaxing, I don't know, check out the other channel as well. Okay, right, TBR games now. Okay, everyone, so now it's time for the TBR game with the boxes. We haven't actually got a name for this game.
This is just one of several that we do.
It's just a TBR game.
TBR tin.
So if you would like to, this is Nathan, would you like to explain how it all works, please?
I have 4 tubs of joy here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Each one is marked up with genres.
Yes.
Well, loosely. Anyway.
Yeah.
And they've all got numbers on. This has got 2, 3, 4. This has got 5, 6, 7. This has got 8, 9, 10. And this has got 11 and 12. And here, in my hand, I have 2 dice.
I was going to say, there's also lots of dog stickers that have nothing to do with books.
But that's nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But here is 2 dice. You, not
me.
You will roll these 2 dice like this. And I got 8 there.
So it corresponds with the box.
Yeah, I would have had to have a fantasy sci-fi. And then I'll pick a book out of here for you.
So there's bits of paper in all of them, folded up. And they're all books that I own that I haven't yet read yet. So they could be, you know.
Yeah, whatever genre you land on, I'll pick one from there.
So, are you good to go?
Let's go.
Let's do it. I'm going to roll the dice.
Roll them.
I am hoping for a general fiction or a thriller. Let's see. Got 5. I've got 10, which is fantasy, sci-fi,
and horror.
Or horror. So
let's have a look.
Let's have a delve in.
Whoa!
So yeah, that's what it looks like. I'll give it a little.
No, get your hands off it. It's mine.
Delve in. Give it a good mix.
I've found one I'm going to get.
Okay. Get me a good book.
Here we go.
You're opening it up.
I'm opening it up.
What is it? Come on, the suspense is getting me.
Melmoth bedroom.
Ah, so basically, yeah, that means what room it's in. So it's Melmoth. Oh, I know that.
I've heard of that.
It's got, like a bluey cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's in the bedroom.
Yeah.
There's one
interesting. I'm going to go see if I can find it. Let's have a look. Well done. Thank you. I found it. That was quick to find, wasn't it? Sometimes I struggle, but yeah, look at it's really pretty cover. So yeah, this is Melmoth by Sarah Perry, who did the Essex Serpent, which I've not yet read. But you've done a good one here. I hope. I've heard good things about it, so I'm hoping it's good.
I've heard great things.
No, you haven't heard anything. But yeah, if you want to find out if I liked it and stuff, then watch next month in my reading wrap up. But yeah, thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, it's now time for Spin the Wheel. Yes, the very fun Spin the Wheel TBR game. So yeah, basically, as you can see, there is a wheel and it has lots of different sections in it. And basically, each one has an option of how I can choose a book. So, for example, it could be a book from my bedroom, or Nathan gets to choose me a book, or a fantasy book, YA, that kind of thing. So, on the count of 3, I'm going to press that spin button and we'll see what we get. Okay, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, spin. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh, it's a YA book. I'm happy. I've got loads of YA books, so that won't be a problem. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. A YA book. I'm trying to think if there's any on my kind of pile of books that I really, really want to read. Or maybe I should just choose one randomly from one of the rooms that I've got my mini books in. I don't know. But yes, a YA book it is. So I'm going to go choose one and then I'll show you what it is, okay? Okay, so this is the selection for my Spin the Wheel game. So I had to pick a YA book and I have gone with this one here and it's called You Don't Know Me by Sophia Bennett. I got this a good few years ago in a bookshop in Leigh-on-Sea and they're not even there anymore. The bookshop closed down. So yeah, this is quite old, but the whole kind of idea for me of doing TBR games is, getting to choose books that I might not have chose. So yeah, I was tempted to just get one of my new YA books, but then I was like, maybe I should get one that I've had for ages, so that's what I've did. So yeah, I've had this for so long. So what is it about, I hear you ask? It says me and Rose in a band singing together all the way to the live finals of Killer Act, only to be told that one of us must go. But no girl would drop her best friend in front of millions, would she? If this is fame, it sucks. So yeah, I remember getting this. So I'm gonna get round to reading it, and I'm hoping it's gonna be good. Okay, it's now time for Tbr Roulette. So as you can see, this is the roulette board. Is it a board? Is that what you call it?
It would be a roulette table.
Roulette table, and it's on the table.
It is a table on the table.
So there are bits of paper on all of the numbers. I think we've got it on
the
zero as well.
Double zero.
Okay.
Because they are on the wheel.
Because they're on the wheel, and this is the wheel that we spin.
It's not the wheel of fortune. It's the wheel of books.
Look, I love doing that. It's very oddly satisfying, spinning it around. So basically, just sit there and go.
Mate, it's a shame you can't do a live stream of it because you're not allowed to do gambling.
No, are you not?
I don't know.
People do scratch card videos.
Yeah, as long as you're not getting any money out of it.
But anyway, so yeah, basically that is the wheel. We've got the little ball somewhere. We put the ball in, we spin it, we find a number. Whatever number corresponds with this, we find it. There is a bit of paper. And all of these bits of paper have books, as I say, that I own or from the library that I haven't yet read, that are in piles of books in our bedroom, which you nearly fall over.
All the time.
Because there's so many.
There's so much books. So this is going to help me
get one out of the way. So
what I'm going to do, so I will give you the ball.
Oh, okay.
There is the ball.
I feel very important with this.
I am going to spin this and then you will drop the ball in.
Okay, well, enjoy your spinning.
And good luck.
Good luck. Going to go now?
Yeah.
Let's get me a good book. What's it going to be? It's very exciting. Feel the adrenaline rush.
It's number 2.
Number 2 as proof.
Which is this one.
Number
here.
2. Which is up there. Are you going to reveal?
I will reveal the
Tell me what it is. Oh, I'm nervous.
Don't be so nervous.
What is it going to be? Can you read my writing?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it says.
I
believe it says Little Thieves.
Oh, that's a big one.
Little Thieves.
That is a big book. Oh, yeah, it's a big book. It's supposed to be very good, though.
Well,
it's got a beautiful cover.
You wouldn't have got it if it was.
Yeah,
good.
I actually own that book. It's not from the library, but it is a big chunky.
Well, you need a big chunky book. Otherwise, they'll just sit there and you'll just end up with
big books. Big books scare me.
Don't buy big books.
I know. But it is supposed to be very good, so I think you've done a good one. I hope you've done a good one.
You need to get rid of the big books.
So yeah, this is the book that was chosen, and that is the TBR Roulette done for this month.
It is.